So the hormonal contraceptives, they actually cause. Hello, are you all there? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Hormonal contraceptives, they cause the reversible suppression of fertility. So in developing countries, the mortality rate it is declined, but the birth rate it is increasing. So the population is increasing. So we have to do something to control the population. So that is why there are hormonal contraceptives. So it will cause the reversible suppression of fertility. One minute. One minute. Just a minute. Yes. Still the people are coming. So okay. Now, so there will be oral as well as parenteral drugs are there. Oral contraceptive pills. Then parenteral, it is DMBA. I will tell you in detail. DMBA, that is intramuscular subcutaneous, as well as implants are there. Then some devices, Norplant, implant intrauterine this contraceptive devices. Like progestasert, levonorgestrel. I will be showing everything. That is why I'm just going fast. And there will be transvaginal ring, transdermal patches. So such things are there. So first we will see oral contraceptives. So oral contraceptives means oral hormonal contraceptive means there will be it's a mixture of it contains estrogen as well as progesterone hormone. And it can be monophasic, biphasic, triphasic. I'll tell you later what is it. Then emergency contraceptive pills, that is post-coital pill. Then single progestin only pill or mini pill. It is called mini pill. Single, it can be emergency post-coital pill. Then again, the combined pill it is estrogen plus progesterone. It is the widely used one and it is effective as well as reversible. So the usual progestins that are included in the contraceptive pill, it will be norethistérone, levonorgestrel, desogestrel, gestodin. These are they are having less side effects. That is why they are used. Norethistérone, levonorgestrel, especially levonorgestrel, then desogestrel and gestodin. Estrogen, it will be ethinyl estradiol. So all these names we have already seen, that is why I'm just telling. So now we will come to monophasic, biphasic and triphasic. So in a tablet, monophasic means there will be fixed amount of estrogen and progesterone. So usually oral contraceptive pills, they will be taking for 21 days or 28 days. So throughout the period, the estrogen progesterone amount, it is fixed. That is monophasic. Biphasic means estrogen, it will be estrogen, the amount will be constant, but the progesterone vary with phase. And triphasic means progesterone doses, it increases in the three phases. So there is before ovulation, during ovulation, and after ovulation. Like that, three successive phases, it will change. But estrogen, it will remain same. But in the mid cycle, it may be increased. So there can be monophasic, biphasic, as well as triphasic. Now, so this is what is the government supplied oral contraceptive pill, that is Maladi. That is, it consists of levonorgestrel and ethinyl estradiol. And this is trikiller. This is the triphasic. So you can see three types of colored tablets are there. So this in each phase, the dose of progesterone, it varies. That is it is the triphasic type. Now the dose of estrogen, that is in each tablet, each pill, it may be in the range of 20 to 50 microgram. MCG means microgram. Progestin 0.75 to 1 milligram. And there can be also low dose pill in the mini pill. It can be other low dose pill less than 35 microgram of estrogen may be there. So these are the doses that is available in the pill. Then usually the progestins that are used, it will be lipid-friendly third generation progestins like desogestrel, gestodin, norgestimate. Because they are lipid-friendly, because they are increases the HDL level and less atherogenic risk. So that is why such lipid-friendly third generation progestins are used in the oral contraceptive pill. Now, Hello, are you all there? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Then when it should be taken? That is the menstrual cycle. You know, it is 28-day cycle. Regular, if it is regular, means it is 28-day cycle. So first day we have to take the tablet, one tablet. Then daily she has to take. So and up to 21st day. Then 7 days there is a gap. That time again she has to wait for the menses. Again during this period the menses start again on the first day. Some tablets we have to take it on the 5th day. I will be telling that. So like this, daily she has to take, otherwise there is no protection. And efficacy, it is oral contraceptive pills, that is efficacy 98 to 99.9%. Then, so what are the beneficial effects of these oral contraceptive pills? In addition to the suppression of pregnancy, it avoids unwanted pregnancy. It also releases dysmenorrhea, that is pain during menstruation, premenstrual tension, then prevents anemia by reducing the menstrual loss, reduces the incidence of pelvic inflammatory disease, protects against ovarian and endometrial carcinoma, and reduces the incidence of benign breast tumors and ovarian cysts. So these are the other beneficial effects of oral contraceptive pills, in addition to avoiding the unwanted pregnancy. So there is some beneficial effect I was just telling. Then what are the contraindications? Whether anyone can take this? No. Some people who are having this hypertension, cardiac disease, she should not take. Chronic liver diseases, diabetes mellitus, very careful. Then epileptic patients, thromboembolic diseases. Such cases, they cannot take oral contraceptive pills. They have to go for some other contraceptive measures. Then single preparation. So I was telling about a combined pill. Now this is a single progestin only pill, only progestin. That is either norethindrone or levonorgestrel or inorgestrel. So this is called mini pill or progestin only pill. So this is important especially for nursing mothers or women who are more than 35 years. That is safe. But this progestin only pill, they have to take daily without a break. Continuous 28 days they have to take. Efficacy will be 96%. So that is progestin only pill. Now we will see post-coital pill. That is emergency contraception. That is some unprotected intercourse or something happens. That is some for that we have to do some contraception, that is post-coital, that is immediately after the coitus or sexual intercourse, we have to take this tablet. So I'll tell you how to take. So it can be either oral progesterone alone, or it's a combination of estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone plus ethinyl estradiol, but it should be taken within 72 hours. Otherwise, it is of no use. So it is called morning after pill. Immediately in the morning of the sexual intercourse, we have to take the tablet. Otherwise, it is of no use. Within 72 hours, it should be consumed. And it is used especially for unprotected intercourse, rape, accidental rupture of condom, etc. in married people. So such cases we can go for this emergency contraception, but it is not a routine type of contraception. Only for special purposes we are taking. And we have to contraindication if there is pregnancy, you should not do, because the child may be developing some malformations. So this is the emergency contraceptive pill, I-pill. You might have seen in advertisement, I-pill. That is emergency contraceptive pills or post-coital pill. And so how to take? It can be, if it is a single levonorgestrel emergency contraceptive pill, we have to take the 2 tablets only. We have to take immediately after the sexual intercourse. You take 1 tablet, then 12 hours later another tablet. So 2 tablets are needed. That is levonorgestrel. That is the I-pill. Then another one is it is also called USP method. That is, each pill will be containing both estrogen as well as progesterone, levonorgestrel and ethinyl estradiol. This pill they have to take 2 pills. And again, after 12 hours, again two pills. So they will be getting the contraception or protection. But the thing is that it should be consumed within 72 hours. Then another one is mifepristone. Mifepristone means they can 600 milligram single dose they can take, only one tablet 600 milligram. Then recent one, there is another drug called ulipristal. Ulipristal. This is also an emergency contraception, and here there is a 30 milligram tablet. But one advantage is that up to 120 hours there is protection. That means if the girl or the lady forgets to take the tablet, so up to 120 hours it is there. So ulipristal 30 milligram single dose, only one tablet is needed, but it can be within 70 to 120 hours. That is the latest one. It was came in market in 2010. So that was about the oral contraceptive. Now parental contraceptive is like injectable depot medroxyprogesterone or DMPA. DMPA, that is depot medroxyprogesterone acetate. It is a 150 milligram injection. It should be given once in 3 months. So you can see this oral contraceptives we have to take daily, but this is just one shot. So she is protected for 3 months. So one injection is enough. Similarly, norethindrone inandate or net-10, 200 milligram. That is again, this gives protection for coverage for 2 months. But the only problem, see, once this injection is on, in the body there will be the drug will be there. So within, suppose the lady wants to become pregnant within 3 months, it is not possible. So only after 3 months, even after that, 1 or 2 months later only, she will become fertile. So that problem is there with the injectable. But once the family planning, everything is over, so you can go for this. The lady can go for this once in 3 months. So every 3 months she has to take one injection. So that is there. Then advantages, the advantage of injections, compliance will be better because daily she doesn't have to take. Safe during lactation, and menorrhagia, dysmenorrhea, it will be reduced. Dysmenorrhea, it is reduced for all hormonal contraceptive, but disadvantage, because it is a progesterone, there is a decrease in the HDL but increase in the LDL. And as I have told, there is a return of fertility. It is delayed 6 to 8 months. So once we stop it, it may take some 6 to 8 months to be. Then only she will become pregnant if she tries also. Now certain implants, that is called Norplant. These are kept subdermal implants, and it consists of rods, which will be having the drug, that is levonorgestrel. So suppose if it is kept subdermal, under the skin, there is a protection for 5 years. And when it is removed, fertility will be restored immediately. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the PPT visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. Yes. But there at the site of insertion, there will be infections, local irritation, pain can be there. So I'll be showing the picture. So this is the 6 rods. So this will be containing so it is kept like this. Under the skin it is kept. So it is giving protection for 5 years. So that is Norplant. And there is another one called Implanon. Implanon means there is only one rod, and it consists of disogestrel 68 milligram, protection for 3 years. So this is the Implanon, only one rod, single rod. It is kept under the skin. So it gives protection for 3 years. That is Implanon. Then another one is intrauterine, that is Mirena. It is called Mirena. Again, it is levonorgestrel, Mirena. Its shape is just like a copper T, but it is not copper T. I'll come to copper T now. So now I'll be talking about intrauterine contraceptive devices. That is, it can be levonorgestrel device, which gives protection for 5 years, and other devices are there. Progestasert. So everything it is known in your book. That is why I'm going a little faster. Then there can be transvaginal ring. Then and also which consists of ethinyl estradiol and disogestrel. and the effect will be there for 1 month. So I'll be showing that. So okay, this is the copper T. So it is copper wire is there. It is T-shaped. That is why it is called copper T. So they are plastic devices and they will be containing copper. It disrupts the normal uterine endometrium. When it is kept inside the uterus, it will disrupt this endometrium so that there won't be any implantation of the fertilized ovum. So that is the copper T. So and this is the transvaginal ring. So this ring, you can see three divisions, different shading is there. So here it is estrogen, here it is GnRH agonist, and here it is progesterone. So all the hormones are there. So it can be kept as a transvaginal ring. So usually this is of not commonly used, but copper T and others are usually used. And also there is transdermal patch. So this is like a patch. So it is available in packets. This consists of norelgestromin. It is a norgestimate and the ethinyl estradiol, and it will be kept on the buttocks. That is, this patches will be applied either on the buttocks or upper outer arm or lower abdomen. And once a patch is kept, it is kept for 3 weeks. After that, one patch is for 1 week, like that 3 weeks continuous we have to keep. Then one free week, patch free week. So that time we will be getting the menstruation. So 3 weeks we will be keeping the this patch. So that time the lady will get the contraception and in the protection from pregnancy. So this is transdermal patch. Now we will be seeing what is the mechanism of action of all these hormonal contraceptives. So this is the this is the picture of uterus, the female reproductive organ. So this is ovary, this is fallopian tube, this is the uterus endometrium, and this is cervix, and this is vagina. Okay. So if you remember this picture, you will be able to find out, tell the mechanism of action of all the hormonal contraceptives. So we will come to the points and again come back. So estrogen and progesterone in the contraceptive pills, there will be estrogen and progesterone. So this will, it acts on the hypothalamus pituitary axis and there is a negative feedback. So when there is a negative feedback, it will inhibit the release of FSH as well as LH, and there will be inhibition of ovulation. So number one, it is inhibition of ovulation. Number two, it causes this hormonal hormones. It causes tubal uterine contraction. So it can interfere with the fertilization. Then third one, endometrium, to make the endometrium less suitable for implantation. And fourth one, thick and viscid cervical mucus prevents the sperm penetration. And the fifth one, it is dislodge a just implanted blastocyst or interfere with the fertilization or implantation. So we will see the picture again. So okay, so number one, it will inhibit the ovulation. So that is by the negative feedback. Then some change, interfere, this tubal contraction, there is some irregular tubal contraction, so that there won't be the fertilized ovum, or the fertilization cannot come, or the fertilized ovum cannot reach the endometrium. Then some changes in the endometrium, so implantation is not possible. Then in the cervix, there will be thick mucus, so there is the penetration of the sperm is not possible. Then the postcoital pill, sometimes already some implanted, the fertilized ovum would have implanted here, but if we take the postcoital pill, it will dislodge the implanted fertilized ovum. So this is the mechanism. So if you just study this picture, it is easy to remember the mechanism of action. So that is mechanism. Now serious complications, many complications are there. Non-serious, serious, later, etc. I am talking only about the very serious complication. It is very rare, but it can happen in pulmonary as well as venous thrombosis, coronary and cerebral thrombosis. BP can also increase. Then these are all rare, genital carcinoma, benign hepatoma. So we don't have to, we should not frighten our patients or the ladies that they should not take this because it may end up in genital carcinoma. No, it's not like that. It is very rare, but for the completion's sake, but some people may develop leg vein thrombosis and pulmonary thrombosis. This if they develop some cough pain or something, some signs and symptoms, then she should not continue the tablet. That only we have to. Then interactions. Suppose the patient, the lady is on oral contraceptive pills, and if if she's a tuberculous patient and she's taking rifamycin, what will happen? Rifamycin is an enzyme inducer. So it induces the metabolism of this oral contraceptive drugs. So she was taking one tablet, but the metabolism is made faster. So as a result, the dose of the hormone in the body is reduced. So she may become pregnant. So we have to be very careful. We have to increase the dose of such cases. Or then another thing, I'll come with afterwards. Then another thing, it is this. If you take some antibiotics, it may interfere with the suppression of, causes the suppression of intestinal microflora. So this estrogen, there is enterohepatic circulation. It may be interrupted by this. By the suppression of the intestinal microflora by the antibiotics. So because of that, again, the effect may be reduced, the lady may become pregnant. So these are the two important interactions. So such cases, if such interactions are there, what should we do? We have to go for higher dose of drug, 50 to 80 milligram, or we have to, in addition to the oral contraceptives, we have to go for alternative methods like this condoms, etc., or seeing the safe period. Now, Sencroman. Sencroman means it is a non-steroidal estrogen antagonist. Okay. Oh, sorry. It is a non-steroidal estrogen antagonist. So it is a Sencroman. It is actually developed in India. It is an anti-implantation agent, and it is not teratogenic, castrogenic, mutagenic. So whenever Indians develop a drug or something, it will not be having any serious side effects, isn't it? So one of the drug, that is Saheli, it is actually developed, that is called Sencroman. It is developed by Indians. It is CDRI, the Central Drug Research of India. That is then. So I was talking all about female contraception as well as female contraceptive pills, hormonal contraception. Now, is there any male contraception? So that also we have to see. But there are certain important factors we have to understand. See, in male contraception, it may not be, that is not satisfactory, because why? The complete suppression of this spermatogenesis, it is difficult. Because in ladies, in females, per month only one ovum is coming out, but in males, with each ejaculation, millions of sperms are coming out. So complete suppression, it is difficult, number one. Then spermatogenesis, it is taking for 64 days. Again, that is difficult. Then gonadotropin suppression will be there, and there will be decreased testosterone secretion. So because of that, there will be loss of libido. That is interest in sexual activities, that is called libido. So that is unacceptable for males. Then some risk of adverse effect is there, but that much is not there. But the most important thing, men won't become pregnant. If they are taking a tablet or not taking a tablet, they won't become pregnant. So because of that, they are not ready to take any, they don't find any need for taking the contraceptive pills or other contraceptive measures, because they won't become pregnant. Only the partner only will become pregnant. So the partner has to take all the precautionary measures. But there are some approaches. For the completion sake, there are drugs, that anti-androgens are there. Estrogen, progesterone also they can take. It will suppress the testosterone secretion. Then androgen, GnRH analog, cytotoxic drug, cadmium, nitrofuran, indoles, etc. But they are all horrible drugs. But just for completion sake, I have told. But there is a drug that is called Gosipol. Gosipol. So from where it is obtained? It is from China. So it is a non-steroidal compound. It is obtained from the cottonseed plant. It is called Gosipol. It can be taken orally, and there will be suppression of spermatogenesis. and it reduces the sperm motility. And the fertility will be after several months. Once it is stopped, they will have the fertility. And then, but there is no change in the LH or testosterone, or libido is not affected, potency not affected, no hormonal or anti-hormonal effect. So that is the advantage of this Gossypol. But some side effects like hypokalemia, breathlessness, neuritis, etc. can occur. So that is about the male contraception. So the drug name is Gossypol, but it is not routinely used, but for the completion sake, maybe in China they may be using. India, I don't know, someone is using it or not. But so as I have told, the men won't become pregnant, only the females only will become pregnant. So most of the female hormonal contraceptives are in use. Okay, I think that was the last slide. Thank you.